Say, well, I beg to differ, because there really is nothing new under the sun. We used to think that this generation was stronger than that of my parents, but after learning where and whom we come from, I realized that this was a false narrative. They fought, bled, and died for the liberties that we take advantage of today. So I changed my mind. We are our grandparents. We are our parents. This is where the idea for uppity Negro apparel and accessories comes from. We are the uppity Negroes that defy boundaries, broke chains, climbed mountains, and crossed valleys of hatred, bigotry, illiteracy, and oppression. The statement is simple. The cause is never ending. The sound, loud. Say it with me, Kindred. I am that uppity Negro.
Good evening. Hello. I know it's earlier than you normally see me, but it's because I think that because I expect a phone call at 9 o'clock, I sometimes have to get off when the subject or what we're talking about is getting like really good. So I am going to do this in my unprepared way with my bed behind me and that light. I'm trying to get rid of it, but hopefully it doesn't distract or bother you too much. Please join in the conversation. The conversation is about alpha females. The conversation is about alpha females and how they are um, ambitious and smart and go for whatever it is they want to go for, but they cannot seem um, to deal in a relationship that is long lasting. So that's what we're talking about. Um, so the first thing I wanted to talk about really quick was my uppity Negro apparel. This is one of my favorite combinations. Um, this uppity part can be put into anything, but I love the camouflage and I love the colors on it. I love, love, love this shirt. I also have it in white with a different black and white and red camouflage. Love this shirt. Um, and I love my logo. I just love this. I love the uppity Negro, and I love it when the attention I get when I'm out, especially from our non-melanated friends who want me to explain it, which I do in great detail until either they walk away or they. You can't hear me but my mic is on. Not sure why you can't hear me. Let me hit it again. So I'm not sure why you can't hear me, but my mic is on. I tested it before I came on, so I don't know what's going on. Um, on the other end of this. So yeah, so I'm not sure why you can't hear me, but I hope everybody else can hear me. I'm not sure who the person is I'm talking to. Oh, better. There it goes. I'm glad you can hear me now. And stay with me. Just stay in the conversation. Join me, however if you want to do it. But anyway, so we're talking about my uppity Negro apparel. A very good friend of mine this morning gave me some very good tips after my live this morning on Facebook on how I can better um, market myself. And I was very appreciative. And it took like this load off of me of trying to think of things that I did not know, and was tired of just asking for help over and over again and just getting this blank wall. So anyway, excuse my bed behind me. I'm usually more prepared, but this is earlier than I normally do it, and I always need a moment to regroup when I get home. So my guest um, host is here, and I'm going to bring her in. And let me see. Am I bringing her in right? Oh, I'm going to bring her in, and she's going to join me. This is Ebony, and
Hello.
she's been with me a couple of times, but I really wanted her to come in on this one. And again, we're talking about alpha females who can do everything they can do. They got the house, they got the car, they got the children, the 2.3 dogs, they got all of that and cannot stay in a relationship because they don't know how to leave some of that alpha outside.
Yes.
So we got some scripture for you to bring it all home for the church folks. And then
Okay.
we have the trying to keep Bobby in control of her mouth on the
Right.
other end because she really feel like she just sitting on the side of the bed swinging her legs with a Snickers and she just ready to go and I'm trying to rein her in because these kind of women I admire, but they make me sick with this.
I don't
You know
need a
what it
man.
still is? You still know what it is, Fred? You know what it still is? It's this I am the table crap that's pissing me off because
Yes.
they still with the I am the table. And I do not understand that. But we're going to get into that. And Ebony's going to give me the millennial perspective on this because this is not a new thing. And being an alpha female is not a new thing. But what's different about having the alpha female idea or whatever in your head is that men have dominated this for so long. Everybody always talking about the alpha male, the alpha male, the alpha male, and that's fine. But the problem with that is that in this new generation, there are more black women graduating from college than ever in history. There are more black women started their own businesses and doing their own thing than ever. But let me explain something to you before I go to because I'm supposed to be promoting my book. Just because you run your own business does not make you an alpha female.
Right.
It makes you determined. It makes you confident. It makes you have great faith in whoever you believe in. I don't care if it's Popeye the Sailor Man. If you believe in that, then that's great. It does not make you an alpha female because there are criteria to being one. And those criteria do not change. And once you reach a certain pinnacle of that, some of us lose our minds because now we don't need no man, but you want children.
True indeed.
Talk. I can't pre. I'm getting there. So up in the Negro Apparel, and at the end, Ebony's going to have about 5 minutes, and she's going to tell you all the beautiful and wonderful things she does. I'm waiting on my massage, and then I'll tell you how I feel about my massage. She know I'm gonna be real about it. So I'm
Yeah.
waiting on my massage. I'm getting the hot rocks just so she remember it's on a sticky note inside her brain. Understand this? Okay.
Right.
So exactly, Fred. Exactly. And we have these definitions of these things and we try to figure out where we get them from. A lot of these things we get from, listen, stop watching Animal Planet here. Stop watching Animal Planet and thinking that lion is you. You're human.
Right.
You ain't went out and killed nothing your whole life, bruh. And as a matter of fact, lions are king of the jungle, but they don't do the hunting. Guess who do
Right.
it?
The women.
Li-
And
li- we gonna talk-
a lot of that dominancy, comes from, generations, like your mother feeling like she's dominant and she didn't need a man, so she instilled that in you. Or,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you don't need no
Or,
man. You see, I raised all y'all by myself and I did pretty good, so you don't need no man. When all actuality, I need a man, sis. I
or
don't know
your
about you, but
your father was not there.
yeah,
And even if he was there physically, maybe he would drink a lot. Maybe he was a
yeah,
drug addict. And your mom ran everything,
yeah,
including him.
right,
Because instead of getting him help or trying to nurture him to not want to do those things, she liked the fact that she could run him.
yep,
And don't let her even be married to a functional addict.
mhm,
Because a functional addict will work 40 hours a week and tear up the weekends.
yeah,
I got a brother who do it. I got a brother who's done it his entire life. Make
mhm,
supervisor. Make all. My brother has done his entire life. He get in these supervisory positions. Them people don't know that when he get home,
uh-huh.
you can barely speak to this booger. And on
Oh, wow.
Fridays, his check, he got to give his ATM card to the drug dealer because he done got so much credit. He don't have no
Oh,
money.
wow.
Listen, I'm not trying to embarrass him. I'm telling you this kind of
Tell
life
them the truth,
that some
yeah.
people live. And if you have a mother that is married to a man like this, yeah,
Mhm,
she's telling you she don't need him. She don't need, but she won't divorce him. She ain't put this
right,
booger out. He done broke
right.
everything. Sold a TV. Your Christmas toys go. We ain't even got. I can't. I can't. I can't. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Give me a minute. Okay. So, because Bob, this subject for me is just irritates my spirit because we have become so engrossed in this feminist movement, which has screwed us up. Because the feminist movement was started by white women who were tired of being at home all the time with their children because they didn't want to raise them.
Right.
They pulled black women in because they knew we could do the legwork. And as soon as they got their right to vote and leave the house, you know what they did with those black women? Now you can be my maid. Check your history. Debate me on it.
Wow.
Whatever movement that white people wanted, they brought us in and they knew we would do the footwork. And then they got what they wanted. And I'm talking about the LGBTQRS, TUVSZ. I don't care what letter you want to be under. Y'all got in those parades and all this stuff and fought for all this stuff for marriage and all that. And as soon as they finish, they put y'all niggas back out the door. And I said the word I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because these white people are living off the fruits of our labor. And we not talking about just slaves. We talking about all of these movements that they have. Yeah, a lot of alpha women, they're not going to hear it, but that's okay. This show is for those who want the truth
Right.
and want to live in it. Because you're not alone because you don't want no man. You want alone because nobody like your act.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
truth.
I'm coming back.
Boy, you
I'm
don't
coming
need
back. I'm coming back.
picture.
So the book is finished. I know y'all seen it. That's it right there. That's me. I want to explain to you how hard my mama worked to get that ponytail up there. That if you don't know nothing about my mama, you know that she is determined I was gonna get that ribbon and that ponytail for picture day. When I tell you she brushed it till I felt my brain cells reevaluate, listen, Trisha was gonna get that ponytail up there, honey. That's
She
what you know
was.
about Trisha. So the
Yeah.
book is $10.99 on Amazon, and it's $7.99 if you want to do Kindle. The other thing about this is the first copy. My engineer told me that he wasn't really happy because I wasn't happy, and so there's going to be a second volume coming out. So if you would like to wait, I will let you know when that comes out. These are just I ordered them or whatever for people that I wanted to give them to, but they'll be getting another copy of a better book because somebody told me that it looks like it looks like what do you call it, a National Geographic copy of a National Geographic. But
And
yeah, so anyway, we're going to do some different things with it, but I did it on myself because I wasn't going to I got tired of waiting on people. I'm not a waiter. If I ask you to do something, then I expect you to do it, and I'm not going to wait. And if it's not as perfect as it is blame you because I asked you to do something, you didn't do it. Plain and simple. If you don't like that, call me and we'll talk about it. But you better hope Bobby don't answer the phone and Barbara do. You better hope that Evangelist Melvin answer the phone and not Bobby, because it's gonna be on and popping. Because that's the kind of mood I'm in right now. Because the devil tried to really make me do something to myself this weekend, and I felt the light, man. He really tried me this weekend, and he lost again
come on.
because he didn't get the memo
Tell the
that I
people.
don't play. I'm down for a
Tell.
minute, but I'm down there praying. I don't know what you think I'm doing down there,
Come on.
because I'm down there praying and fasting and talking trash.
Right.
So let's get back to this. So we were talking about alpha females, and I looked up a few things about it, and I thought I wouldn't find anything with the as far as criteria, and that was easy to find. It was harder to find scripture on what I was really talking about, but then I realized that I was asking the wrong question. Um, and then God led me in the right direction. So alpha females, I'm going to give you a few of their criteria. And you know women like this. You know women like this. They offer fearless leadership. They don't hesitate. When it's time to get something done, they just walk to it and go through. They possess high emotional intelligence. They can control their emotions in a situation that is highly volatile to their emotions and still handle business. That is an alpha female. I have not reached that number 2 yet. I'm still working on number. They are obsessive learners. They want to know everything. And I have that trait, but only to a certain point. I'm still working on that because I'm not an alpha female. I'm not. And you're going to see why in a few minutes. And I hope I never become one in the sense of what people want it to be down.
Right.
I want to become one in the sense of these definitions, but these definitions have been chopped and screwed.
Right.
Let's go on. They are strong. We this we know, and that I am, because I'm still here in it. Minus some boobs, less some hair, and still on 2 types of chemo and work 2 jobs. So we're not even talking about and so having just 1 or 2 of these traits, you already know you're not an alpha female, because you have to have all of these to be number 1. That's what alpha means. Alpha means number 1. Okay? They cultivate harmony. See, this is why some of y'all ain't alpha females, because you arguing with people over Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me repeat that. Let me say that again. You're not an alpha female. I don't care how much money you got, what you doing, and how you doing it. Because you arguing with people over Housewives of Atlanta. You can't have
And a lot
harmony
of
in your friendships and your family because you so busy worrying about people on TV with money who don't know you and don't care about
right,
what you're going through. Because their bills paid with over
exactly,
$100,000 per episode.
right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And they have exceptional confidence. Exceptional confidence. I ain't got that.
Yep.
I have
I agree.
confidence that I can cook chicken like many on the hill. I got confidence that I can out fashionista you on any occasion. And I got confidence that I can sing angels into a room if you give me a microphone and tell me that you need me to pray. Confidence in that. But in
Right.
my businesses, as if you saw my live this morning, I have very little confidence in that because I doubt me. I don't doubt what God is doing. I doubt me. And do I have the ability and the perseverance to wait until he gets me where I need to get to?
Right.
And I don't because I got angry this morning and this weekend. And so I done took 5 steps back and now I got to catch up. And this one show with me being as confident as I am now does not negate the fact that I messed up this morning and now I got to catch up. I got to get back into that in line with God, and that's going to take some prayer and some supplication. Sure enough. So that is the term alpha female, and that term is thrown around so easily, just
Yes,
like the
it
words
is.
"I love you" and "I'm gonna be there" and "I ain't gonna
Yeah.
never leave you" and
Yep.
you can count on me and I got your back.
Hmm.
And some people I'm scared who got my back because I won't know what you're
Definitely.
doing back there because I don't
Right.
trust I don't trust what I see you doing to other people and I heard you
Oh,
had their back too. What you
yeah.
doing back there? What
Exactly.
you back there doing? You trying to find the weakest spot to stab,
And
but you
yep,
got to
I
go
was
through
getting
some
ready to
stuff
say
because you're gonna have to go through the real people who got my back.
that. Hmm.
And then when you get through them, you still got to go through God because He got all sides of me covered.
Right.
So what you
We
doing back
feel it.
there?
We doing.
Because I sure can't stand up and just fall back like they do in the trust test. Not with you. Because I seen you
Exactly.
done let other people listen. I done seen you work, and I'm not confident in your work. So
Hmm.
either way, so the term alpha female is thrown around casually, but what does science have to say about it? Y'all know I do. I like science and I like um, biblical. It has to have a biblical foundation. Hey Quint, baby. If you want to come in, just let me know and just come on in. You can join me and Ebony. So female alphas embrace their confidence, and this helps them lead others. An alpha female tends to believe her ability to achieve is limitless. They don't have no walls. They don't have no ceilings. So people talk about the glass ceiling. They don't care nothing about that because they don't have none.
Right. Wow.
The only thing they have that's above them is heaven. And nobody know how far it is to get to them,
Right.
get to that place, except through death. And I'm sure they're not thinking about death. They don't have no walls. They don't have no limit. And I'm telling you these definitions because when I get ready to tell you off, you're going to know why. Because
Hmm.
it's coming. I got you, baby. As long as just keep on, you can keep up just like that. So alpha females have a confidence that is contagious. They Alpha females make other females feel like they can fly. Now that particular trait I have. My apostle was with me one day and we were just walking around. I do what I do. And she said, "My God, you are a motivator. You make people feel like they're the only person you done talk." I said, "Because I do it to everybody. Because I wish that somebody had done it to me.
Hmm.
I wish somebody would do it to me, would just walk up to me for no reason and say, 'Listen, sis, I don't know why you picked that skirt, but that is the right skirt to pick.' I do it to people all the time. I don't have to know you. This is what I do." And she watched me work one day and she said, "You do this all day?" I say, "Do it all day." And sometimes when I get home, I sit in the middle of my bed and just boohoo cry.
Been there.
because I done gave all out. And I have to find a way to put it back in. And that's what my problem is. My problem is instead of shutting myself off, I have to learn to call somebody and say, I just need you to pour back into me. And so we're working on that. But that's another topic. Write that down, Ebony. We're gonna talk about that. Emptying yourself out and
Okay.
and try and finding ways. You'll remember you young, and finding ways to have be poured back into. I think that's a really good subject. What you can
Definitely.
give me your thoughts on that, Ebony. I know I see your mouth moving. Go ahead and talk. Interrupt me.
Oh no, I was gonna say on that I was watching when you were saying about pouring out to people and not having anyone pour back into you. I was watching
Mm-hmm.
a documentary with Fantasia, and she was basically saying, she was the same exact way,
Mm-hmm.
and how she realized that, life and being a mother, being a wife, even if you're not a wife, you're still considered being that superwoman because you're raising children on your own. You got to be the mama, you have to be the doctor, the lawyer, whatever you have to be to those children. So she found herself, her cup was running over, and she had to stop for a second and let her kids know my cup is running over. What's running over is for y'all, but what's left inside it, that's for me. Because I can't allow myself to
Oh,
run over to the
wow.
point I can't allow myself to run over to the point where I have nothing for myself, because sometimes you have to encourage your own self. You look for mama, you look for daddy, you look for friends, you look for family to encourage you because you're so empty. There were times in life where I was just running off fumes and I had to pray and ask God to just give me the energy, because here it is. I got a sick child. I got another sick child. I'm at the hospital, one kid on the ninth floor, one kid on the fifth floor. Daddies
Mm,
ain't nowhere around. So I'm in the middle and I just broke down. I remember stopping on, like, I think like the second or the third floor, and I just broke down and cried. I was like, Lord, I can't do this. This is hard. And life hold women at such high standards. And it's the
mm-hmm,
same, mama's baby,
mm-hmm.
daddy's baby. They hold us as such, but sometimes you gotta take a minute and pour into yourself. Sometimes you gotta let your cup not run over. You gotta take what's in your cup for yourself. Because let me tell you, I'm not going to overwork myself. I'm a mother of two, of course, but I'm going to do what I have to do. But I'm going to take time for myself to pour into myself, or to at least attach myself to someone who can pour into me. And then it upsets me because and this is no slander to my ministry or my church or anything. This is just a simple statement. A lot of times we go to church and we're hurting, and we say that we got women and men of God who we love, and they so into ministry and things like that. And people who say that they love us and they so in tune with the spirit. So you mean to tell me you ain't in tune enough to know that I'm hurting? You ain't
Exactly.
in tune
And,
enough.
and,
You
it's,
ain't in
and, it-
tune.
and, it's, and it's not shade because Apostle says it all the time. Nobody don't feel nothing. Like
Yeah,
you,
and
like
that's
you,
what I'm
you
saying.
didn't get no, like but you in tune enough to know that God told me that you was having a little problem. Which, listen, I'm not gonna sit there and tell you my business because that's all God told you. Because
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure God didn't tell you my business. What He told you
Right.
was I needed prayer or I needed
Right.
financial blessing, and then you wanted to
Right.
skip over that and go straight to, well, what's the problem, baby?
Right.
And so I think that, and Quint, you're absolutely right. You have to put a top on it and you got to close it up. And you got to say, ain't nothing coming out, ain't no holes in it. This is all for me.
All
And
for
I
me.
think a lot of times we, especially as women, we are black women. We are so forgotten and so whatever that we grab hold to whatever. And that's we're gonna come back to the subject, but we grab hold to whatever people say.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding why you think you a table. I'm not understanding why you think that you have to ask a man what he's bringing to the table instead of can you build a table?
Hmm.
Because if he's bringing something to the table, that means you have already set the table and bought the table. And so now he's sitting under your table, which means now you can dominate?
Right.
What are you talking about? It's backwards and it's biblically wrong.
Right.
You're wrong. So what you worry about what he can bring to the table? Can he build one?
Exactly.
Can he
Then you
put the
can't get
things on it that
tired.
sustain you? No, because you ain't even give him a chance to build it. You know why? Because you want to run it.
Yeah.
No, twin, you can't say we can build it together. No, you can sustain it. You can sustain the table together. But it is, if you go back in biblical times, because you say God don't change. Everybody says that, right?
Yeah.
When you go back into how marriage and all of this stuff started, men were not allowed to marry daughters unless they could bring in what that daughter was worth under her father's house. He got a dowry. but he had to bring something. And you can build, maybe you can build a chairs together, but that table and what he's supposed to do, he's supposed to bring that. He's supposed to be able to take care of you the way your daddy was taking care of you, or he wouldn't be able to take you out that house. That is how it's supposed to be. Now we can change it and we can make up all these things about they not doing what they. I don't care about none of that. I'm telling you, that's biblically what it said. I'm gonna get to all of that too. You can maybe build on that table. Maybe the table that he brings is smaller than the one that you're used to. And I'm gonna get to that too, because that really shocked me when it talked about alpha females and who alpha females really should look for.
Mhm.
Just posted about that. Yeah. So he is supposed to supply the table. And when I say table, but metaphorically, I'm talking about the house. You can have your own house and all that, but when marriage comes in, you're supposed to move over that way. And it's the same thing, even if you're not living with your mom and daddy. You uncleaving from your parents is leaving what you were in, and you go to him. Well, I don't want to give up. Then you don't want to be married.
Right.
Because you want to wear the pants and the skirt. And you cannot do that because you're biblically wrong. I know people want to do this new thing and they want to, I work hard as he do. Shut up. Because you do not. You are not a black man. You have no idea how much stuff that black man had to fight today. And we're not even talking about the LGBTQRS community that he thought was a girl and she coming at him too. I'm being serious. You have no idea. You don't have to bring security. He's supposed to give you security. If you're in love with somebody and he doesn't make you feel secure, then therein lies the problem. Then that's not the nigga for you. Because when y'all start dating and y'all start asking the questions about money and this and all that, if he don't make you feel secure in that, then it's time to move on. You don't bring anything to the table except you and your confidence and your love and your nurturing of this man, knowing that you're going to take care of him and his children and make his house a home. That is our job as women. We are built to nurture. We are built to make a house a home. We are built to multiply what he brings. We multiply the table. Now we ain't got one table, we got two. You give me sperm, I give you children. You give me money, I give you sustenance to make sure that everything is done right.
Okay.
That is our job. It is not our job to bring nothing. We ain't supposed to bring no table. We ain't supposed to put the meat on there to do it. Now, if you're an alpha female and you make more than he do, y'all should be talking about money and how it's going to be delegated before y'all get married. And if these conversations end in arguments, then you in the wrong spot.
Exactly.
Because y'all gonna make me skip over. Y'all making me skip. But I'm going to skip over all the rest of this stuff because this is what I want to get to you. This is what I want to get to. There's a doctor named Sonia Rose, and she noticed the pattern in the women coming to her practice. They were all self-confident, accomplished, and very sexual, but there was something missing. They complained about being unhappy and frustrated by their lack of success in relationships. She concluded that instead of looking for a man as successful as them, they should reject an alpha male in favor of a beta male. A beta male is considered to be dependable, responsible, and supportive. And he loves alpha females, not because they make more money than him, not because they can take care of him, because he knows that everything that she's lacking, which is missing the dependability of another person, everybody depends on her. But if she got a man that she can depend on, y'all see where I'm going with this? A man that is responsible, she ain't got to worry about being responsible when she get home because he's responsible. And he's supportive. You support everybody else because you alpha. But when you get home, you got everything that she gives out, that beta male gives back. That's what I'm talking about. Two alpha people in one room, honey, you looking for disaster. I'm not saying it doesn't work because it does. But a woman has to know her. Let me give it a good example. My apostle at my church is the apostle of my church. Exactly, Gwen. Her husband, is the deacon, the head deacon at my church. When we at church, she's apostle. When we at church, that's her domain because God gave her the vision. Okay, Robert, I'll get. We're gonna talk about. Hold on, let me finish my thought, and then you can tell me why the alpha beta thing is nonsense. When we get to her house, that's Deke's domain. She's not the apostle. She is his wife, and all decisions that are made basically go through him. Now, I'm not saying that he makes all the decisions and she just kowtow because that's not the kind of person she is. But if it's a major decision, they have a discussion and then he acts accordingly as the head of the house. That's my belief. That's how my house is ran. Because I learned under her. And the thing about the way I like their relationship is she knows where she's in the head of, and he knows where he's the head of. And they know how to do this interchangeably with each other, depending on whatever. And that's how I believe that it should be done. Robert is telling me that the alpha beta concept is BS. And then he's going to tell me why he thinks that, and as soon as he type it in. And Frederick thinks that the alpha beta thing is also BS. But I don't. I think that, the reason I don't is because people give themselves these titles. I'm not saying that I agree with the title at all. I'm saying that these are the titles that people give each other. I'm an alpha female, so I need an alpha male. And I don't think you do. I think you're strong in business and all this other stuff. And I think that you try to take that to your house and try to run the booger that you married to the same way you run your employees. And I think you're not going to be either married long or he just don't care. Robert said it's based on pack animals. Humans are more nuanced. Agreed. I agree. And when you say humans are more nuanced, are you saying that it's based on the individual in the relationship and not some what do they call it? When some group kind of thought? I'm just waiting for him to type it in. Yes. Okay. And I totally agree with you. But the reason I'm speaking the way I'm speaking, Frederick said something, hold up. Because it is pack animal behavior. And humans didn't behave in that, and humans don't behave in that manner. And like I said, I agree. But I work with someone who continues to tell everybody that she's an alpha female. I think she does it because she's insecure and she wants everybody to think that she has those traits that I gave from the beginning. And I think if you have to keep telling people who you are and what you are, that you're insecure.
Exactly.
If you got to remind people of who you are all the time, that you're insecure. And so I can say that I agree totally with Robert and Frederick. And I told Frederick that's before I even broached this subject. Because everything is done differently in every household. This is why you're supposed to have a discussion with your person before you get married. You keep on marrying these boogers because they got green eyes and you want your children to have green eyes. Keep on because you want your children to have so-called good hair.
What? Talk about it.
Because you marrying somebody who can't build anything, let alone a table. And this is what I wanted to get to at the very end of all of this, because I really want to have a discussion on the idea of just, I brought the alpha male and the alpha female thing up because I got tired of women saying, I can't find no man on my level. And so I would just choose to be alone.
And in this day and time, you hear that a lot from the women who are my age, early 30s, late 30s. You hear a lot of that. Like, I don't need no man. If a man can't do more for me than I can do for myself, I don't need him. Like, I sat in rooms with women who just felt like a man, like they don't need a man. Like, it's really in their mental that I don't need a man. Like, I got my own house, I have my own car, I pay my own bills. But for me, a man is supposed to be more than just, buying you a house, buying you a car. And we got into a heated discussion earlier today because I told them personally, me personally, I have my own business. I'm successful in my business and everything, but I still want a man. I would never deprive myself of having a man being because there's some things that you can't do for yourself that only a man can do. And then a lot of the times they get in their head, oh, my mommy had no man and she did this, or my sister ain't had no man and she did this. So what? Break that curse. You need a man. A woman needs a man. That's how it's supposed to be.
I tell people this all the time, and I'm pretty sure Frederick or Robert are going to disagree, and that's okay. I tell people this all the time. To say that you want to be alone, you are biblically wrong. You're biblically wrong. I don't care what your sexual orientation is and all of that. There is a scripture that I found today that talks about being alone all the time. And it says, it is, first of all, the scripture is from Genesis, says that it is not good for you to be alone. But it's also another scripture I found earlier, I found after that, and I can't find it. But it is a scripture talking about being alone and in your own thoughts. Here it is. It's from Proverbs. Who lives by himself follows his own whim. He is angered by advice of any kind. That right there is basically the definition of a reprobated mind. The person I talked about, my supervisor, is unteachable. She's unteachable. She has been her and her husband have been best friends for so long. That's whatever whatever ideology they have, it's right. She's just unteachable. And then it says, the man who holds a loaf seeks every pretext to bare his teeth. He defies all sound judgment. And so you got people that'll go and they'll look at preachers on TV because they say they don't like church. They've been church hurt. But you're still in your own counsel. You don't have nobody to go back and forth with your ideas with. Let me see. I'm sorry. God did not put us here to be. He didn't. Was Yeshua married? Was Jesus married? I don't know. I've seen some things that says he was. I've seen some things that he was not. But I don't think that marriage was one of the goals that he had. But I don't know, because I heard he was married to one of the Marys. So I don't know. And that's a question that I still haven't found an answer to. And so my thing is, what is the point of that question? Because Jesus wasn't alone. Because what I'm talking about is not just being married. When I say not to be alone, I'm not talking about not being married. I'm talking about cutting everybody off except your children. Now your children are your best friends, and they have to listen to you complain because you ain't got no man. They can't get no social life because they your best friend. That's what I'm talking about. This is not about marriage. This is about isolating yourself because you feel like there is nobody else in the world that has reached the pinnacle of greatness that you have. And so nobody don't want to be around you. But I have another opinion. People don't want to be around you because they don't like you.
Right.
Because you're unteachable. You're unapproachable. Exactly. He didn't have a companion that we know of. No, not that I know of, not in the sense of marriage, but I know that he had those 12 boys with him. I know that he had some women with him that financially made sure that everything was okay. Besides Judas, because he just had some other issues. We'll talk about that another time. But I know that he had companions with him. And though he was their teacher, I think that he, without their mistakes, he would have little to teach. That's my opinion. He taught based on the mistakes and the things that they did and said so that he could get a point across. That's my thing. And I think that we are not meant to be by ourselves. We are not to be. We have all these things. We have all this beautiful house with all of these things. But you can't go in the living room because I'm saving that for somebody else. The hell you saving that for? Why you got decorative towels in your bathroom? Why can't I dry my hands on those towels?
Right.
What did people do? Listen, my mom had why you got them candles? You're not gonna burn none of them? What you saving them for? I don't know and nobody was saving them for, because I burned all of them after she left. After she died, I burned them because I like candles. My thing is we separate ourselves from people because we don't want to know the truth about ourselves. I think we separate ourselves from people because once we've come to a certain mindset, I do this, Robert. I do this to myself. Once I come to a certain mindset of I ain't shit, I ain't gonna never be shit, and everybody around me shows me I ain't gonna be shit because they're not buying my stuff. I get into the place where I was this morning. And I'm trying so hard to break that cycle. I wish so hard I could break that cycle. I don't know how to do it. And I'm listening to what Ebony is saying and what Quinn is saying, and I'm gotta learn how to pull back into myself or call somebody who don't want to just know my business, but all they want to do as soon as I get on the phone and say I need prayer. Don't ask me nothing. Just pray for me.
Right.
And so people get into and let's flip that over to the other side. You done got in your mind, I'm an alpha. I'm a bad bitch. This is what ain't that the new thing? And
That's what they say.
I got this and I'm gonna do this and now can't nobody tell you that you stepping on people and you hurting folks because you doing it
Right.
you doing it in a way that is hurtful to people. And you don't want to hear that. So now you done cut everybody else off except the dog and that pointy-headed child of yours who can barely read.
And the people who encourage your foolishness.
Exactly. And the people who encourage your foolishness, because the only friends you got are people who still be by themselves. Y'all won't invite each other to each other's house because you don't like each other. Robert
All y'all doing
Quick
is passing
says,
the toxicity around.
if we look in the mirror, we will know who we are. Nobody has to tell us truth. And some people don't want to do that. Not everyone desires companionship. That's okay. There are many layers as to why, but just because most humans are communal doesn't make one who isn't wrong. I don't know what the other letters are. Is that IMO? What that mean? I'm old. What does IMO mean? Okay, everybody else. I don't know what IMO, but okay, I get what you're saying. I disagree, but I disagree because of how I feel about it. But I understand what you're saying. And I'm not necessarily calling anybody wrong. All I'm saying is, and I am calling people wrong. Didn't I just call people wrong? And that's what the show is about, Mr. Ellington. In your opinion, that's what it is. In my opinion, you are biblically wrong to want to isolate yourself in a way that no one can encourage you when you're down. No one can. You cut everybody off. So where do you get your? Okay, this is the question then. Let me move my notes out the way because Robert done came on here like he always do and had me doing other stuff. I love him for it too. So this is my question: where would they get their encouragement from? Who pats them on the back? Because patting yourself on the back, your arm get tired. So where did they get their encouragement from? Are we just doing it through inspirational books? Are we just like where does your help come from? I understand God is your help. I get that, but weren't we placed here to take some of that
physically.
that physical, because that physical contact that changes things. Physical contacts can change. A hug, bruh. A hug placed at the right moment will change your life. So where do you get that from if you've decided that you don't want or need anybody around you? That's just my question. And I agree, Quint. I do. I agree with that. Pack animal behavior cannot be replicated by humans. I get that, Fred. I understand that. But we're not talking about pack animals. We're talking about people who have decided that they do not need anybody in their lives. They've cut everybody off. That's what I'm talking about. So my question is this: where do you get your encouragement from if you've decided that you don't want to be a pack animal? Where do you get a hug from? Where do you get love from if you cut everybody off? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Because I understand the concept of pack animal behavior. I get that. And so let's move on from that and talk about humans. Do I get, as a human, where do I get a hug from? Where do I get love from? What's not possible? I'm not understanding. What's not possible, Fred? Because you can't, you telling me that you are so self-sufficient that you can encourage yourself. You can bring yourself out of a dark place. You can, because if you can, send me the
Correct.
5-step, 3-step, or the
Okay.
book on how to do that. When you suffer from real depression, I'm not talking about sadness, because sadness is a different thing from real depression.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if I didn't have somebody in my life to pull me out where I was on Saturday, I was going to do what that young man did today and lay down in front of a car and let it run over me. So explain this to me, because I understand pack behavior. So now we're on to humans. Where you going to get love from? Yourself? When you can't even convince yourself to get out the bed? And just explain it to me. That's all I'm asking.
Get that over in it.
Exactly. Self-love has its limits. So where do you get the rest of from? And Robert is saying from within. But what if you don't? What if you're not capable of that? Because I'm pretty sure if that young man was capable of that, or I think it was Dr. Dre. No, I think it was Master P. One of their daughters killed themselves over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that mechanism, especially if you weren't nurtured in that way, and this is no shade thrown at Trisha, because my mom did what she could do, how she could do it, and she did it very well in the way that she could do it. And I wish I had realized that earlier, but I wasn't. We weren't taught about hugging and encouraging your brother and sister. We weren't. That wasn't how my mama house was ran.
And that's in
My
this
mama
generation,
was the
that's
kind
like
of
a lot
person, as long as you was eating and you had a roof over your head and I wasn't beating you and you had clothes, that was enough to tell
of
you I
good.
love you.
Right.
I didn't start telling my mom I loved her till after I was 47. So then where do you get it? And that's all I'm asking. And from within, good luck with that sometimes. Because if I didn't have people that loved me enough to pull me out of the darkness.
Mhm.
And the funny thing is, I'm a hugger and toucher, but not everyone is wired. No, of course not. No, some people will not let you hug them. Some people do not like to be. Their space is very sacred to them. The only people I know that don't have boundaries is white people. White people don't have no boundaries. They just right there in your. They just have no boundaries, and you have to teach them the boundaries. I had to teach this girl on my job. Listen, sis, I have boundaries. But I mean, but I am a hugger. I am a person that is almost not constantly, but enough till it's almost constant that I need um, the validation of who that you're my friend. And now one of the things, the funny thing is, Robert didn't understand after when he wrote me this morning is that I knew that I wasn't feeling as bad as I was over the weekend because to me the world wasn't dark anymore. It was a very light gray. You understand? And I'm not talking metaphorically. I'm talking about for real. I felt like I couldn't see no colors. And I'm gonna try not to cry because then Robert gonna pick at me. God damn it. And so when he gave me the suggestions and the advice he gave me, despite his idea of pack behavior, the world brightened up. I swear to God, I blinked and I had to blink my eyes because the sun seemed brighter to me.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about. Even when you do it unconsciously, we need people.
People. Yep.
I
We
don't
need
care if
one
you
of
just
that.
using them for a minute. Listen, I don't care if you go to the goddamn Starbucks and the girl put a smiley thing on your cup and that make your day. We need people.
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody to come in. Just because I feel like it's my duty to talk to everybody in line at the store, that's not everybody. That's me. But like I said this morning, that same mentality of people don't need people and they have is why those people kill themselves because they didn't have nobody else to turn to.
Right.
When you cut people off and you burn bridges, I tell people this all the time. You burn bridges, I promise you're going to have to go back over it. I promise you're going to have to go back over. This ain't no biblical term. You can talk about karma. You can talk about whatever you want to. I promise you.
Yep.
The circle of life is real. It's just out a song on the Lion King. And you can Hakuna Matata all you want to. I promise you, what bridges you burn, you're going to have to go back over. Because I had to. And I promise you, it's very hard to rebuild a burned bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you're going to have to get new material to build a brand new bridge. And it's hard for people to say sorry. It's hard for people. It's just hard. Some people feel that interaction is a bane, and because they. And do you think it's because they've lost trust? Because my boyfriend is to the point now where if he can't see it and it don't manifest itself in front of him, you's a liar. His thing is you guilty until he prove you innocent. And I'm trying to get him out of that. You got to give people the benefit of the doubt. But he done been hurt so much by
I'm the
his
same
family
way.
and so-called
I'm the
friends
same way.
that whoever new comes in his life, you have to, man, I
Go
had to
ahead,
work
Pastor.
hard on this. I had to work hard
I'm the same
because
way. One thing
in
that
order
hurts
to
so much.
go ahead.
I'm saying I'm the same way because once you've
You
been
right,
hurt so
friend.
much,
Yeah,
it's like how do I trust you? And then I pray. Me and my mom were just having a talk yesterday, and I was telling her when I pray, I'm praying and ask God to harden my heart. When I realized that I didn't want that, I do not want my heart to be hardened. I just
right.
wanted to be able to trust again. I wanted to be able to find me and somebody else because anything that I do with no strings attached. I do it from the heart. So I always pray and ask God to send me a me. Somebody who can understand that, people make mistakes. Somebody who can understand that people aren't perfect and still love them
Mhm.
where they are versus
Right.
tearing them down because of something they've done or
Yes, ma'am,
something that,
Queen.
that people make mistakes. And I used to hold people accountable for their mistakes, which I still do. But I had to realize that just because they're not in a place spiritually where you are, you can't turn up your nose because somebody had to pray you through what you was doing.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I think that one of the mistakes that we make as people who've been hurt, is that we expect people to, like I tell Anton all the time, you expect people to live up to a standard of perfection when you are in the predicament that you're in because of your imperfection. You understand? And so you feel like, well, I got the memo. I changed. Why can't they? Because they're not where you are. They haven't been through what you've been through. And I think that I make the mistake of giving people too much of the benefit of the doubt. I am trusting to a fault. You have to really, really like dog walk me almost to make me say I'm not going to be your friend or be around you. And to me, that is a detriment to me because the pain I feel is personal. That boy killing himself, even though I just knew his name and I've met him only a couple of times, I took it personal today. I literally had a panic attack and went into the bathroom, even though I didn't really know him, because I felt like when I saw him walking in the street on the thing and the other day, and I was looking at it, and I took myself off of it. Why didn't I get in my car and just go try to help? But it's
But
not
let me
my
tell you
job. You
something.
see what I'm
Let me
saying?
tell you something. Speaking on that right there, before that situation happened, and this is what gave me peace. I was at the hair store on Rivers Avenue, the old Burger King came, and that young man, Tumble, he came and knocked on my window and said, "Hey, sis, let me get $1." And that same day, I kid you not, right hand up to God, I kid you not, he came to the car and he asked me for $1. I said, "I don't have no dollar." He was like, man, sis, I'm tired, or whatever. I said, "It's okay to be tired or whatever, but is your heart in the right place?" And because he would ask me, and I beat myself up too because he would always ask me to go to church with me. But at that time, I wasn't in church. I wasn't going to church or whatever. But that day, in front of the hair store, he gave his life to Christ. So I knew that he was tired. I knew that he was tired because he said it out of his own mouth that he was tired. But the
Yeah,
fact that he gave his life to Christ right before all of that happened, we can't. No man knows the day or the hour, and you can't stand in judgment because, like I tell people all the time, you got to operate in love wherever you go because you never know what somebody is dealing with. That one hug,
right.
like you said, that one hug, or that one baby, you got this, or if
Yeah,
God laid on your heart to call somebody or put somebody in your spirit to call and talk to them, do that because you never know what a person is dealing with mentally. Some people hide a smile, have a smile on their face, and hide thousands and thousands of traumas and pain. So you gotta
yeah.
operate in love, and I instill that in my kids. Operate in love. Don't go to school and bully nobody because some people may not have what you have. Some people aren't
And
as
this is
fortunate as you. So you operate in love.
That's what Foster. I'm sorry. I don't want to be
Yeah.
disrespectful. That's what Prophet JP was talking about. He was talking about that all scars are not visible.
Right.
And I am like some men out there with these women with that beat face. Man, that beat face will hide many a pain. Them red bottom shoes and them designer clothes hides lots of stuff,
Yeah.
and you never know. And that is why when I talk to people, whether you have millions of dollars or none, I treat everybody the
The
same exact way,
same. Yes.
because because of what you guys said. We're all human. We're not pack
Right.
animals. We're human. And because we're human and we have nuances and we have different levels, and people call it, oh no, I'm an onion, I got different layers, or I'm a diamond, I got different facets. You better find a friend who knows how to deal with different layers. Some of my friends can't deal with certain layers or facets of me, and some of them can. And so whoever I need at that particular time, that's who I'm gonna call. If I want you to
Right.
lie to me, then I'm gonna call somebody who I know is just gonna yes me because they need a couple of dollars. If I want the flat foot truth, I call Creature. Because Creature or Coco, who's not on here tonight, because they're not gonna sugarcoat it. So I very rarely call them because they always make me cry. Because they're gonna tell me the truth. And if I really, really, really need something, every now and then I go to Robert personally instead of him coming to me. And he got something for it. And Robert is so on point, like there's no emotional thing involved. He gonna tell you what it is, and then you just work with that. Then he gonna get off the chat. But I can't deal with him all the time because I need more than that. So I don't go to him that often either. If I need scripture, and so I go to Quint. If I need business, and I go to Fred. And I used to go to I can't even think his name without crying, so I'm not gonna go there. And I used to go to another friend of mine. Ooh, I'm sorry. Because that person could handle me on that level. And people say, I only got 2 friends. You need to have somebody that's able to deal with you on whatever level you're on in your life at that time. And even if it's one person that can deal with all of you, then good for you. But I have different friends for different things in my life because there are different. I'm sorry, y'all. I said I wasn't going to cry. But all I have to do is just think about my friend and I just lose my mind. Oh, now I got, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. So, exactly, Quinn. If they got to lie to you, then they're not your friend. But they may not be my friend. But sometimes I want you to tell me that dress don't make my ass look fat when I know it do. Sometimes I want you to tell me, girl, that color look good on you, and you know good and god dang well I look like a pumpkin from doggone Charlie Brown and the Boo and the Pumpkin. I need you to lie to me sometime. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I looked it up, and I know that lying, you can't lie and tarry in the sight of God, but some lying is not lying, it's encouragement. So yeah, that color look good on you, but maybe you should go a couple of shades darker. It's still, you encourage you, Ebony, your child draw you a picture and the ear is over here and the nose is up here. You gonna tell your child that picture ugly? No. You gonna say, maybe,
No.
baby, the
Good
next time
job.
you draw it, that's encouragement. It's beautiful, sweetie. It's beautiful. And in your head, you thinking something wrong with my child. And you looking at it, you say it's beautiful, and then you say, but next time, let me show you how to what. It's not lying. It's you encouraging them.
Right.
And but I had to come to the conclusion that I was wrong that first time when I said that lying was okay. I had to come back and do another show and say I'm wrong. The Bible says that a liar will not tarry in the sight of God. Period. I tried to make it something else. I was wrong, and I changed it. But I do know this: if I ask you if somehow something look on me, it just depends on who I ask. If I ask a certain person, that's I want the truth. If I ask somebody who I know just want me to feel good, I'll ask them.
Right.
And you're going to get 2 different answers from the 2 different
Every
people
time.
because they know where you at mentally.
Every time.
Because the outfit I had on the day, I hated.
You
I
stylish
hated.
though, so I don't
And
know why
six
I've never
and
seen
six
you.
people and 6 people said how beautiful this skirt was. And in my head, I was talking, y'all so full of shit. Man, don't leave me alone. Leave me alone. This is the word. I picked this outfit without even talking to Jesus this morning. Because before I get dressed, but no, seriously, when I pick my clothes that night, I asked God, so what we gonna wear tomorrow? What we gonna do tomorrow to turn heads? That's what I do. And I literally talk like that, like I'm in here, like, and I ask him, well, what we gonna do tomorrow? Who we gonna make jealous tomorrow? And I didn't do that this morning or last
Mhm.
night. I just picked out something that I knew kind of went into the color range or whatever, and I walked out the door and I felt like crap all day because I hate this skirt. And so that's where we are with that, whatever. But people do have nuances. People are not pack animals. I understand that the concept of what you guys are saying, and I agree. But again, if you don't have that, if you weren't nurtured or taught how to encourage yourself, if you, especially if you weren't taught how to pray yourself out of situations, I'm just learning that praying myself out of situations is something that I need to learn how to do. Because and I'm gonna tell you the truth, I'm very transparent. I start praying and then I start crying and then I just get up in frustration. Whatever. This ain't, I don't want to do, man, whatever. And that's what I do. And I know it's wrong. I know it's not how I'm gonna get out. But I'm at the other thing is I just wait till I get to the point where I just don't want to deal with it anyway. And that's the wrong thing to do. The
Right.
wrong thing is to wait till the last minute to go to God. You can't use God like that. And then when you get
Right.
on your knees, when you start praying, you expect to fall out in tongues and all that immediately. Heifer, you done went through everybody but God. Now you want him to run? No swing
Right.
low, sweet chariot for you today. No, we're not swinging low. Gabriel, go back. Take
Right.
Uriel back in the car. Y'all go back and do what y'all was doing. Because this heifer done tried everybody but me today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel sometimes. But sometimes I feel like I get on my knees and I pray, and he ain't talking to me. But guess what? I done talked to everybody else today before I talk to him. And he gonna come in his own time and when he ready. He ain't
Right.
ignoring me. He still hear me. Is that you did to him what he did to you, and it ain't called tit for tat. Is that now he got to work on the outside behind your back in the background to fix what you just asked him to because you didn't ask him earlier. That's your fault. You were on the wrong timeline. It
Right.
ain't it. Let's be real. You on the wrong timeline. He been waiting on you to call him. But no, you call that slick head nigga that you thought was your man like kids.
Talk about
Anyway,
it.
anyway, we were talking about the reason I said it, I did this subject the way that I did it is because I'm so sick of hearing my supervisor talk about she's an alpha male, alpha female. I'm sick of this idea of I'm the table. I'm sick of this the way that they have taken the feminist movement and screwed into and chopped and screwed it into this thing that is I don't need a man and don't open my door. Don't pay for my dinner. Don't nigga you if you ask me out, you pay. If I ask you out, I pay. That's fair.
Nah, I think we don't
And
think
if
no.
you do pay, and if you do pay, that does not mean you're going to get ass. It doesn't mean that.
Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk
Because first of
about
all,
it.
when you paid, you only gave a 1% tip. So I don't even like you no more anyway, because you ain't tipped that girl right.
Right.
Now
Talk
take me
about
home or
it.
call me an Uber.
All right.
And
First
so
of all,
that's
I don't
to
even
me,
need to
if
get to
you want
take
to,
you
if you're
home because
talking
I
to,
drive in my own
if
car.
you, but I'm saying that the thing is, if you talk about, I see you wrong for that too. Why are you driving your own car? Because if you trust him enough to take you out to dinner, you should be able to trust him enough to get in the car.
But look, yeah, I understand all of that, but I've had experiences where I went out on dates with people and because they couldn't get no tail.
And this is why you go on Google. I'm gonna teach you how to do this because you didn't hear me the first time I said it. You go on Google, you get his first and last name. Next to his name, you write rape, molest, murder. Whatever he's ever done is gonna come up on Google.
Oh wow.
That's how I used to date when I was driving the truck. I would put his first and last. I don't need your social security number, bro. Give me your first and last name and a middle initial if you have one. And I would put in the computer rape, molest, murder. And if you've done or been associated with any of those things, you eating by yourself and I'm eating over here.
Yeah, that's
Because if you
good.
trust him, listen, I'm serious. If you trust him enough to take you out to dinner and spend his money on you, then you should be able to have him come to your front door like a gentleman and pick you up. This is what the feminist movement has done. It has taken all of the chivalry out of everything. How you mean you're not gonna pick me up at my door? You're gonna bump your horn? If you're not delivering pizza,
Right.
you picking me up for a date, and you gonna open my door. This new feminist movement has turned, and I think that one of the reasons that it's turned around is because the feminist movement got kind of mixed in with the LBGT community, them people, the LGBTRS, them people. And it got twisted all in there. And so that's where this, and I might be wrong. This is how it got screwed up because I think they got all mixed up together. And now you don't need no man because you like women. So you keep your idea of that over there because you don't need no man because you like women. And then you got Steve Harvey, who I love, and I really love him. I love his advice or whatever. Most people don't. That's fine. But the one thing I disagree with him about is his book, Think Like a Man. The only person that should think like a man is another man who want another man. Because women shouldn't think like men because we're women. That's our nuance. We have nuances and different things. If you think like a man, then the only reason you should do that is because you're a man who want a man. That's just my opinion. Why, as a woman, should you think like a man to get one? Because you're supposed to be a woman, thinking like a woman. So now you're so busy thinking like a dude, which is almost impossible, because men have a different kind of way of thinking about things. They're hunter-gatherers, fix it, knock it over. We are, go talk to it, get your emotions out, hug it, and fix it. And then multiply that love. That's us. So how you gonna be a woman and think like a man? I do not agree with that. Unless you're a gay man. And that's just me. That's just my opinion. And again, Quint, that is something that people have to get beyond. I understand this, that we live in a different time and all of that other stuff, but the Holy Ghost, and if you don't have that, you have some kind of discernment. Your spirit knows something. If your spirit disagrees with this book at the very beginning, then move on. Don't give this nigga a chance. You and your spirit just don't agree. You cannot trust all you want to. And you know what you're going to be doing? You're going to be living in a trailer with 4 cats, 3 dogs, and white Barbie dolls sitting over there that you dress every day because you think they're your cherry. And ain't nobody going to talk to you except the UPS man and the DHL man and your neighbor who is equally as lonely as you are. Now, if you don't like it, that's fine, but it's my opinion. You can keep on not trusting and keep on talking about, well, it's a new day and time. They said that back in the day before when Jesus came, it's a new day and time. Now look at Jesus. His name is still being talked about over 2,000 years later. He was somebody that they didn't trust either. Keep on not trusting. You can not trust, but you got a computer. You got fingers to type. Look this booger up. And if he ain't got that to hide, he'll give you his first, last, and middle name. And he'll tell you his history. But you're going to miss out on somebody good. You're going to miss out on something. And we're not talking about a husband. We're talking about friends. You're going to miss out on people because you don't let your mistrust put this wall around your heart. I bet you better go get you a bulldozer and do something else. Because there's no way you can say you saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and you don't trust people. Because something is wrong with your discernment. Now, you can not like what I'm saying all you want to. I'm telling you, something wrong with it. And you need to fix your anointing. Because the Holy Ghost ain't going to steer you wrong. Period. And with the Holy Ghost, that mistrust thing doesn't fall right with me. It just doesn't. Because if you can discern whether your children is doing this and your friend is doing this, or whether somebody like you at work and you can discern that, then you can discern whoever you're going to put in your bed with you. Or who you want to let meet your children.
Right.
Time can build trust, but you ain't even letting them in the front door. So what time did you give it? If you won't even get in the same car with the man for dinner, you can time builds trust. Of course it does. But you got to get the man. You got to give the man. Okay, so he gave you a weak line. Girl, your legs must be tired. You've been running through my mind all day. Listen, that's all he knows. He been hanging around. He
Oh
been
my
around old
God.
people. He been hanging around old people. Get a man a break. You don't like the clothes he wear? Let him wear that one time on a day. Then that very softly. You just encourage him. Listen, bro. Dealer's having a sale on polo shirts. Get you one of those. You look beautiful in a fuchsia. You'll look beautiful in a dark blue shirt. Watch he go get it. And he'll stop wearing him Hawaiian shirts and khaki jeans and wearing flip-flops on the date. He just probably don't know no better. Quint, I understand all of that. But you can't get to know him if the first time you talk to him, you don't like the things coming out his mouth. Or he ain't got no teeth. How you know he ain't just leave him home because he was just running to the grocery store to get some milk?
You know what?
How you know he ain't living with his mama because his mama's sick and he needed to take care of her? How you know he ain't got no car because he gave his baby mama the car so his children can get back and forth to school? You have no clue because you done dropped him because he got on a Hawaiian shirt and khaki pants and his feet out in December. Because
Man.
you looking for a certain type. And I keep telling people the same type of man you wanted in high school, you need to change your list because you should have grown from that. You are not going to marry anybody from boys to men. Just get rid of that list. They done. You're not going to
Man.
marry Chico the Barge. You're not marrying them. They're out of your range. Get a new list, sis. As a matter of fact, stop with the list. When you go to the grocery store, you don't keep to that list. So why you keep it to the list about your nigga? I can't. That wasn't me.
Help us, help us, help us. Cause you helping me.
You can't stick to your list for the grocery store. How you gonna say you gonna stick to your list because this is the kind of man you want? And God done send the man to you 6 times and you don't want him because he's missing a tooth. Heifer, go buy
God,
him
he
a
gonna
golden
give
stick up in there.
God said he gonna give us our heart's desires. He
He
gonna
is
give us
gonna give
something
you your
that
heart desire. But your heart
yeah, so
desire, listen, your heart's desire is sometimes not attainable. That man is a human and he gonna be the way he is.
yeah,
And
but
y'all
I
gotta
want
grow
somebody to
together.
roll over to. I want somebody who I can roll over to at night and be pleased with. I ain't want nobody who ain't got no teeth in their mouth and who ain't got no, you know. I like what I like. He gonna give me my heart's desire, and I don't desire a man who don't have no teeth.
First of all, that's fine. That's fine. If we're gonna go by all of that, and then that's fine. That's fine. I can't. I am not here to convince anyone to do anything. I'm telling you my truth
But
because my thing was
I'm open to dating. I just
My thing was I wanted and Robert talking about Amen Ebony. My thing was I was so into dark skinned men with locks that was
oh
gonna
wow.
be it. Oh yes. That was gonna be I wasn't going nowhere from I was like them white people with that paper bag test back in the day when they wanted to see how light you were, honey. He had to be dog skinned, over 200 pounds, and have locks. And
Oh wow.
that was I was gonna stick to. The booger I'm with is light skinned as you can get almost, and no locks, and has trust issues. He's everything I didn't want because I didn't want to have to work through that.
Oh wow.
And I'm not telling nobody to go with nobody. I'm not telling nobody to do anything. You can have your heart's desire all you want to, but sometimes your heart desire. Listen, I want a Jeep Rubicon. What is that? A Rubicon? I want that. I want the Jeep with the truck thing on the back. That's my heart's desire. However, God understands that Santa Fe out there is what I can afford. I'm gonna keep driving that Santa Fe till I'm ready for a Jeep, whatever that Rubicon thing is. Because why do you want a Lexus truck when all you can deal with is a Yugo from the 90s?
Makes sense.
Why you want a 3-bedroom house when you don't clean the 1 bedroom you have?
Right.
So God is going to give you your heart's desire when you're ready for it. So how you know you even ready for what your heart is desiring in a man for? How you know that you have to get what is putting itself in front of you, and you know it's gonna take care of you, and it may not look like you wanted to do, but y'all gonna get it together. Like Quinn said, maybe he can't do anything but build the table, and then you go in and you help. That's all I'm saying. We have some unattainable goals, and some of them goals that we want to reach, or whatever things we want to have, are things that we had on our list since high school in our 20s. I'm 53 now. I'm over half a century old. I've been tore up the list. And I'm just gonna do what God tell me to do. And that's what you have to do. You have to do what God tell you to do. If he tell you the man with no teeth is not yours, then he died. He just, okay. Teeth may be everything. That's fine. And that's fine. But I know many a toothless man with a woman who I know that Robert them don't like this term, who is an alpha female. Many a toothless man with a woman that carries herself like whatever, and he takes care of her. That's all I'm saying. We're not talking about toothless and no house and no nothing. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about him coming to live with you because he ain't got. We not talking about that. And we're not talking about that. We're not talking about the guy on the bus in the Hawaiian shirt that try to hit on everybody who's sitting in the back. We ain't talking about him. We're not talking about him. But I'm just saying, sometimes our standards. Sometimes our standards. Sometimes we put our standards with. Listen. Sometimes how high you feel that you are in standards is not where you really are, because you don't. And I'm just telling the truth. Sometimes people on pedestals that's higher than where they really need to be. And that's why self-evaluating yourself and giving. That is why telling yourself how humble you are, and telling yourself that you this and that and all that. You need to let the people around you judge that, because you may not be that. And that's just the simple truth. A diamond, though it's an inanimate object, does not give itself its own worth. It is appraised by professionals, and then they'll tell you how much it's worth. And then my other thing is, if you're that valuable, if you're that valuable, and you're that high, and you are that worth so much, then why nobody with you? Because diamonds, everybody wants. Everybody wants something that is precious and worth a lot of money. So if you think that you're worth that much, then why nobody is? Because don't tell me nobody can afford you, because everything basically has a price. But what I'm saying is, why are you always by yourself? You worth that much that they got to put you over there with the queen's diamonds and just lock you up? Because that's what you're doing to yourself when you cut everybody else off. Because you worth so much, can't nobody stand to be in your life? It's craziness. I hear you, Robert. So where do you stand on that? I mean, where does that leave you when you have when all of the defenses and all of the things that are that you put up or whatever, and those get knocked down, and then so where are you? And so then why are you still alone? Because you defended everything that I've said, and so then why are you still alone? Because that's what you choose? I just find that hard to believe. I find it very hard to believe. I just do. So we were all over. I feel like we were all over the place, but dancing around the same fire. I guess that's how I want to put it. I'm fading. I'm fading my voice. But having you guys on here talking back and forth with me just made my day. It made me feel like what I said this morning was a lie. And so now I have to retract what I said, and I no longer feel invisible. I cannot express how much I admire Mr. Ellington, and how much of a friend he is to me. Um, and for him to be on my show, um, kicking rocks with me is has been a complete and total honor for me. Um, Clint knows I love her, and everybody knows I love them. But um, having him take time out of a schedule that I know is busy to come onto my show um, touches me in my heart very deeply. Um, and I always I remind him of how he saved my life in high school. He doesn't like hearing this stuff, and that's fine. Um, but I give flowers when they can be appreciated. I was depressed and fat and just on the edge of suicide when I met him in high school, and he yanked me out of it. And and I love him forever for it. But for him to take out his time to come on the show and and honor me with his presence has made me feel like I'm no longer invisible. And to that, I give him his flowers. Thank you, Quint and Fred. I think we lost Ebony, but thank you, Ebony, for coming on the show and making it what it is. Um, I love each and every one of you. Um, with all my heart, I do. Um, and we're not going to cry no more. We're going to end the show on that note. Thank you so much for being honest and being upfront and being and just being yourself. You feel me? Like these platforms make people turn people into stuff that I look at them and I've known them most of my life and I like y'all forget people know you for real. People know you in real life. Why you? That's just my thing. And I'm sorry, I keep looking down. I have the most stupidest thing that I do, and Apostle keeps telling me not to do it. I have a very bad habit of looking at my hands because I can't necessarily feel it, but I can see when the chemo is cycling through. And she keeps telling me, don't look at it then, but it's very hard to not to pay attention to it. So anyway, I love you guys, man. You guys, and Ebony, you weren't on, but I was just saying thank you for being here. I hope that this won't be the last time that you come on the show. Ebony is a masseuse, Robert, because I know you do shows and stuff like that. She will come to you and do like a couple massage thing, and I'm waiting to get the hot rocks thing. I loved it in school when I did it, and she's gonna give it to me. She's gonna go ahead and I don't know if you can type it in, but if not, I'm going to. She's gonna send it to my page, and I'm gonna put it up on my page. Once again, the book is ready. Robert helped me with that too. Frederick is gonna help me make it better. It's to me, it was amateurish, and it looks like a child did it. But Fred won't let me be that hard on myself. But I didn't want to keep waiting on people to do things that I asked them to do. So when I have to wait on you, I'm just gonna do it myself. And it does what it is what's gonna be. And I just want to get my message out. And but Fred is gonna fix it. So that is a copy of it now. But there will be another copy in that same format like that, and looking a little different in about 2 weeks. I'm having a old fashioned woman's tea, like they did in England, for my book discussion. And basically, I'm going to sign the books. I'm only inviting 10 people, and you have to come by invitation only, and you have to have ordered the book, and you have to have. I don't do private checks. Who are these people? I'm sorry about that, whoever that is. I don't do private chats. I don't know why people keep doing that because I don't do private chats. I don't know who these people are. Um, so yeah, I don't do private chats. But and so it's going to be an old fashioned um tea like they had in England with tea and crumpets and all that stuff. I'm learning how to make scones. Ooh. Um, But the biscuits I make might as well be scone because you could probably play hockey with them if you just plain black.
Man,
I don't understand why I can't. I cannot understand why I can't do bread. I don't understand why I can't do bread. So I'll probably end up buying scones. Hell, um, I would
there's a
love
girl
as
named
a personal invitation. I know that you're.
Christina.
I've never really. I've met your wife a couple times, but Robert, I would like for you to tell your wife and your sister that I am extending a personal invitation for them to come to the. And I understand they can't make it. A personal invitation to the T. I only invite 10 people. 3 spaces are already gone. So we're working on that. But I gotta go because I have to eat something and take my meds. Thank you guys so much. This was a beautiful show. I hope we can do this again. And maybe because I'm doing it at 7 instead of 8 and I don't have to rush to take my phone call, maybe that's better. So I'm going to start doing my shows on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. I mean 7 o'clock. Because I think it
Okay.
just works better for everybody.
Okay.
And so that's it. And I love everybody. I'm leaving off here. And we are going to we just love somebody, man. Call on
Yeah.
people that you haven't talked to in a little minute. And just make sure they all right. Just make sure they don't watch too much of the news. Make sure they're not listening to so much bad news that they can't get through. Just talk to people. I don't even let people tell me about the news no more because I don't watch it. I know all I want to know is it going to rain? Do I have to wear my sexy boots or or I can wear sandals or some heels? I don't care about nothing else but the weather.
Right.
And so that's what I deal with. And if I need to know anything, Anton will tell me because he watches news and he'll tell me when stuff on sale. If I need to go somewhere and they're giving away something free or they're fixing your brakes for free, or I don't care about any of that other stuff. And I know that sounds crazy, but I take it personal. That boy dying, I literally went in the bathroom and had a panic attack. I don't even know him. I met him a couple of times. I were at a hair salon he was working with and walking downtown or whatever. I don't know him, but I had a full blown panic attack in the bathroom, and that I can't take. I can't. My mom, people dying and stuff. I can't do it. Not right now. Not right now. And I'm having a hot flash right now. So we really gonna go because I don't know what Bobby gonna say. So I gotta go. Love y'all. See y'all next week at 7 o'clock. I don't know what the show gonna be about, but God gonna give us something, and hopefully we can stay on topic. But if Robert come, we gonna be talking about diamonds and farces and other stuff. But that's another thing because that's what he do. He just comes in and just disrupts my life, and I love it though. I love it. Thank y'all for coming, and we out of here. Deuces. Is that what I mean? I don't know what that means. I'm old. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it was a movie for me. I don't know. Bye.